I think that right now everything is normal. Can we conduct the interview?
No problem.
So what happened is that my friend that can speak German, he couldn't be here today. He had some problems. I don't know what you think if the questions will be conducted in English.
No problem.
Then it's okay. My name is Guillermo. It is a pleasure to know you. I am a big fan since I know a lot of your work.
Thank you very much. Okay, no problem.
Okay, the first question is can you tell us about the artists that have influenced you throughout the years?
Um, there are many. And the Feng Shui says you have to put up. Um, I cannot move the monitor, but I will. Maybe I send. Ah, yeah, I send you a photo. Well, to put up on the right side of your working space, you need to put the people who you admire in black and white. So I put faces of Billy Wilder, Francis Ford Coppola, Michel Gondry, Mr. Hitchcock, Catherine Bigelow, David Lynch, Alejandro Jodorowsky, you know him? It's Möbius. Jean Giraud, the comic artist Möbius. Orson Welles. Who else? Yuzo Itami, the man who made Tampopo. I don't know. It's a movie about food, about soups. Then Jonathan Glazer and William Eggleston, the photographer. It's a lot of people. It's every month there's a new one that I admire and I'm a fan of them. Or the Mexican Inarritu. Yeah, Amores Perros. There are so many, and they're getting more and more. So actually, I'm influenced by old school stuff.
When did you decide that you wanted to be a video artist, a visual artist?
When I decided, no, when I realized I can't play guitar like I wanted to play. You know, I had a band. We were like punk rock, something like this, garage. Like I was fan of the Cramps. I don't know if you like, the Cramps. And then I started liking Metallica and things like this, and I realized I never can do the things that I want if I do music. So that's when I decided to not to work for the ears. I started to work for the eyes. But even yet, I'm still not satisfied with the work I'm doing for the eyes. So I don't know what's next. It should be maybe the food or something. I don't know.
That's so interesting how you wanted to be a musician and then you decided to change everything for the visual part, which is also very important in the music business. So, which is the mobile that make the right impulse for your creativity?
Hmm. It's hard to say because I have to motivate myself every day. But one thing is, I would like to give something to the people that is something that I got from all the things that I explained to you before. When I saw Rumblefish from Coppola, yeah, the film, it gave me so much for my life. And when I read the Incal, the from Möbius, from Jodorowsky, it gave me so much for my life. So this my motivation is to give it also to the people, something that made it to me. I want to give it back to other people that inspires them somehow. And sometimes it feels good because it's fitting, and sometimes it doesn't. And that's why I started also teaching now. I teach in university. Young kids want to make films, and music videos and stuff, and I try to teach them what I know, and that's a satisfaction, and that's a motivation to see this.
Okay, I didn't know that, and that's very interesting. So I'm going to add this question, which it was not in the main list since I didn't know that you were a teacher. So, as a teacher point of view, can you tell me which is the most important thing that you want to impart to your students, like for your students to know that thing very well or to be aware of something that you already know but they do not know?
I think the most important is that they are confident in themselves and believe in themselves, because every idea, everything that you do is so fragile, after it's getting out of your mind and you present it to other people. Some people say, oh no, don't do it, this is a bullshit idea, oh no, I don't know. People talk about things thinking, knowing it better, but if you do things and if you believe in yourself, you have to push for this, forgetting about all the other stuff. And I think this is important, because only in this way really innovative things can be born. So I try to teach them to be brave, to listen to their stomach. I have a quite big one. That's why I'm listening a lot to my stomach. But I think this is an important thing, and nowadays it's more and more losing, because people, even the students, really first think about how they look like being a director, or what they have to do to achieve prizes and stuff like this. But that's not about doing the things, and I think this is very important. Sacrifice. Es
Be-
importante que tienes confidencia a ti y que tú puedes escuchar a tu instinto, porque tu instinto tiene tan valor, yeah? It's precious. That's where ideas come from.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you the next question. During the conception process of a visual or an audiovisual element, would you think in the kind of impact that this resource might have in a person?
It's a torture many times. Because sometimes there is a first, let's say, emotion. When you hear the song, you have, wow, yes, that's it, something like this, and then you start to approach more and more, and sometimes it's a really wrong way, but because also the budget is not enough and stuff like this, but the spirit is the same, and it comes, well, you see those books somehow, comics, it comes in a strange moment. Like it's always inside me, inside me is, I need to solve it. I need to find an idea or something, and all of a sudden it comes. So a doctor told me once, but I told him, yeah, sometimes when I shower, I get those ideas. It's fantastic. I don't know why I always need to shit or to shower to get an idea. And he said, it's quite clear, because when you shower, warm water is stimulating your brain, and then it's easier to think or something. I don't know. It's like, it's just you have a moment, and then you know for sure this is it. It's really strange. It's yeah, this is the fragile moment point. Let's say like this. It's really hard to understand, to say that I get influenced also a lot by things that I see. Many things that I do are refer to things that already exist. I'm a big David Lynch fan. I've thousands of stuff I do. It's like David Lynch. I try to worship him. So with the work. That's it.
But do you think, like, let's set an example, a Rammstein video? Do you remember that video that was shot a long ago, Mind Tile, about a person that was from Germany that decided that he wanted to be somebody else's food or something like that?
Yeah,
And
I did it. Of course, I remember.
do you think in the people emotions or the people reactions when they get to see those images before you produce them?
Yes, of course. it's the effect. It's part of the job, you know. It's part of the job that the things that you do, that you think of, what, how will people react when they see it? Especially with Mindtile, it was that, because I think it was very important with Mindtile to do something that people can't expect. I think the most easiest thing is to make a video or a film. If the content of a song or of the brand or anything says, I go up the stairs, that you see somebody walking up the stairs, you know, and the point is to find a metaphor, a metaphoric way to say it again, or to say it again, but more crazy, or more from another point of view. And especially with Mindtile, this was a big project, because I asked the guys, I mean, maybe you know the story, I asked the guys what are their inner feelings and inner senses, and nobody knew what the other is doing. So thinking of this, because it's so personal that we see of them, and it's an interpretation of the song. People, when they see it, they have built up before they see it some kind of interpretation, and then they are super surprised when they see this. And I always try to show people like they never have been shown before, you know. That's why, for me, Mindtile is still my best video, I think. This is my my peak.
Your contribution to the humanity.
Not one video is better than Mindtile. It's also the song. You know, this saying, it's the singer, not the song. So here, it's always the two things, the song and the video. And Mindtile is an incredible song.
And I also heard that you couldn't sleep prior to the shoots of a particular scene. Can you tell me about it? Like, you couldn't totally sleep, or what happened, or did you dream about it?
I'm still dreaming of Till, you know. Every month, 2 times, I'm dreaming of Till Lindemann, you know. I mean, I had to beat him in the face. I was beating him constantly, maybe 5 minutes, puff, 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 till my hand was hurting. And he said, yeah, more, you can do it more. And okay, you know, because we had to shoot this and nobody wanted to do it. So I did it. So okay, then I do it. How can't you be nervous doing this scene, you know? This is
Just because you were representing the girl, right?
yes, because he wanted to. I couldn't do it, and then he brought me to make it really hard. That's some of his hobbies. There's one thing he does it with Combi Christ, I think, with the singer. I don't know with who. You can see it in YouTube. He likes this game. He likes games, and I think he especially likes games about pain and pleasure. You know.
Okay, okay. Tell me about improvisation. What does that means to you, and how do you use improvisation in your videos? Like, you were telling me that suddenly nobody wanted to hit this person Till in the face, and you felt that you were the only one that wanted to do it. So how do the improvisation process takes hold on your ideas or on your art?
In my work, it's a very important part to improvise, because I did cartoons as well, you know, and from cartoons there is no improvisation. Everything has to be planned. So when I started doing real things, I realized how important improvisation can be, and this is the most important thing, because this gives you the freedom to get something new or more. Maybe it's not good, so skip it, you know. But you only can do it if you are prepared to it. This is the stage of happiness in a shoot for me, you know. if you reach the moments of okay, we do it, but what is there anything else? And then something you have to be very, how can I say, open to things. You realize, wow, this could be much better, and then you go talk with the artist, and some things happen which are much more nicer. And with Rammstein, some people can improvise, some don't. This is really funny, especially for the Main Teil thing. Some were very totally open to what they want, and others they really wanted to have the tight plan. Richard, I think Richard is afraid of improvisation. He doesn't like it, but that's good because I like it. So when we both collide, it could come out some good stuff then.
So I didn't know that you worked with cartoons. I thought that you only created animations. But what can you tell us about your cartoons? Did you do cartoons for children or for adults?
I did cartoons that you can bring me to jail. I think I think there was I started out with this. I did record covers, right?
Okay.
And then all of a sudden one record became a super hit, but it was the time of Eurodance. This means there is a producer doing some cheap super bullshit electro music, somebody ugly singing, and then all of a sudden it's getting a hit and they want to see a face. So they needed a cartoon because they couldn't show the people. And I did it. And that's how it started. And it's really awful music, but I love the cartoons because it's kind of a Russ Meyer dream come true in cartoons for me. It was called E-Rotic. It was the first gold records I received, and I received them in a row. All of a sudden, in Japan, people knew me because of the cartoons. So that's how I started. But then I really hated the music. And the first video I did with people was a heavy metal video for a German band called Schweisser. So that's how I came out. But what is very important in doing cartoons is you see how a film works by its structure. It's incredible how everything you see to the bone, how things develop. What does mean rhythm if you create it by yourself, and all of these things. It's really incredible. It's a good school for everybody to study cartoons.
Which programs did you use at that time, or did you do it like Disney old school, in which you needed to draw a lot of cartoons in order for they to have motion?
Yeah, I did it with a cartoon studio, and the first 4 of them, I think all in all there were 7. The first 4 were then hand-painted foil with a Disney. It's called Disney Leiste, the Disney, the paper with the 3 holes.
Yes.
And then you paint like, so I did the design and storyboard, and the how can you say, concept design, things like this, and the direction. But the animation, real animators have done in a studio, and it was incredible successful. So that's how I started.
Talking about how did you started, how did you know that you wanted to be an animation creator or a video director? Like, how did you decide to be that and not a doctor or a lawyer or something else?
I was too bad at school. Quite easy. The only thing I could do was this. Yeah, I had to stop school and first went to the University of Arts And they had a special test for people without the school ending. I don't know how you call it, the baccalaureate, the Abitur, the Matura. And I did it, so I started studying while the other people still went to school. It was quite fine, the time. And I studied set design for theater because I thought in this art form, music and people and pictures come together in the theater. But it wasn't my thing. It's more the films or let's say music videos or I don't know.
So, was it hard for you to cope with your social life? I mean, your friends, your family, the moments that you spend with other people, having this bunch of work in animation and in shooting videos? It has been a problem for you?
Well, this doesn't somehow it doesn't exist because I am well, I was thinking this a long time, but I am my work. You know, if you see me, I'm consisting about my work. I have a family, but since 7 years, more or less. Now I have 3 children, wife, the whole bunch, and now it's two different things. But before, even not now, they're part of it. And before, my definition of myself was my work, always. There was no separation, and somehow now it's not. It's we try to make our life that it melts together somehow. Work. It's for me. It's pleasure. This is the point, and I'm very lucky to get money for my pleasure.
What is the role that ethics and values play on the conception of your ideas? Speaking about a socio-cultural perspective, since you kind of touch many taboo, do you know what taboo means? Like
Yes.
forbidden subjects, and you get to use a lot of images that are too graphic. So I want to know about the ethics and the values that you take into account in order to make a video.
Well, this kind of changed because before there was MTV and now it doesn't exist anymore. Now you have the internet, and internet you can see some idiots cutting off the heads of other poor people. So 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 this is there are no barriers anymore, and I think the only ethic that you should have is that you have a responsibility of what you show, and you have to stand for it in a way. And I like play with ethics, but those ethics that I touch are for nowadays. It's really, I mean, comparing to what's going on in the real world, it's Mickey Mouse. It's well, how everything changed in the last some years, and but what is interesting is if you put those ethics, if you combine them with content that wasn't meant to be in this way. This means if you have a love song about passion, then I try to deconstruct it in a way. When you say passion, then there's love and pain. And if you show pain, the part of love somehow in a graphic way, then you combine this love song with graphic pictures, and it opens up another world. This is the interesting point. But just to be graphics or just to touch the borders, it's not enough for me. It needs to have a sense. It needs to have a intention, or it needs to have a content connected to the source. Just of the sake of it, it's not enough, or maybe it's not enough anymore. You can't do this anymore because the reality was faster than we all have been, you know.
Okay, so here goes the
I don't know if I could explain it to you. I'm
yes,
sorry.
of course. No, no, no. You did it really well. As a matter of fact, I am studying about ethics and politics and values. So that kind of information is so valuable for me because I do not only study the educational processes and also the visual processes. I also get to read a lot about ethics and values. So that's how I got interested on those kind of questions, and that's why I wanted to ask you one more question about this kind of field. The next question is, what is the role of politics and religion on your ideas, or if you do not take into account the politics, neither the religion, or how do you work with that politics and religion?
For me, the definition of politics and religion is power, you know, and power and control, and controlling masses. And there is a part in religion connected to, let's say, spirituality. Um, might sound like a hippie, I don't know, but it's the connection of all of us. Something. There is something that connects all of us, or even every being, you know. And because we are connected in this way, we understand also, or we feel some patterns or some things all by ourselves. This means something like empathy, or we know what is good and what is not good. And that's when the artists start to play with it, you know, because we know what is good and what is not good, to confuse us and to question all the people again and again. Do you really know what is good and what is not good? And for me, the meanings of religion um, is this. It's like including all of the religions somehow, and I like to play with it. But I know, I mean, if I would be a black metal band, you know, what would be the consequence being a really good black metal band? Then you shouldn't be a Satanist. This is quite boring. It's Disney stuff. Then you should be against the Al Qaeda thing, you know, or the ISIS or something. This is where it's starting getting interesting, because this is super anti somehow. But I think they're not brave enough to do this. And even those ISIS people, you know, there is something. I mean, I don't understand it, but they love their children, right? And there are some ethics, some basic things which connects us all. And this is for me the sense of religious thing. And I try to find a language in my work um, that all of them could understand. Why I was happy. And I think with Mind Tide, this was the biggest response in all of the world. You know, people from Japan contact me because of that video, and they have completely different, let's say, approaches to religion and aesthetics. So they kind of felt something that people from Mexico also felt, you know. And this is where it's getting for me interesting. On the other side, I'm admiring the thoughts and the thinkings of Zen Buddhism, you know, Zen kind of. But actually, it says that everything is everything and nothing is nothing, more or less.
Okay, so what is your worst fear being a director? Not just an artist, just specifically a director. What is your worst fear?
My worst fear when I'm directing.
Well, not just when you are directing, but the whole, like
That I'm
involving.
not good. That
It's
I'm not good in my work. That it's just not enough to be really good. This is something I have to realize. What because what do you do then? You know, what 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 can you do then when you realize you're not good enough? There's nothing you can do because you can't be better. Okay, then I get better tomorrow. It's not possible, you know. Would be nice if it could be, but how do you do it? It's only possible if you restart and restart and restart. Maybe in such a way, I don't know.
Okay, which has been the craziest experience that you had shooting a video, like the most craziest of your career?
I mean, I told you already. Watching Till Lindemann getting a blowjob while he's singing, and I'm hitting his face. I mean, what can be more crazy? Really? Or what? Yeah, I think this is the peak. Nothing went more crazy. The whole scenery. I mean, this was crazy. And what else?
Maybe with another band that wasn't Rammstein?
Why? Why do you ask? Do you have something in mind?
No, no. I just wanted to know if you had some crazy experience besides shooting the Rammstein's videos, because I know that they are all crazy and they are all really visual and stuff. But haven't you had that crazy experience with other bands or just with Rammstein?
Well, with Rammstein, it's the most extreme. This is true. I mean, my very first video when I was in shooting with this German band, we went to India, you know, and we tied up the guy on a rope and they carried him like a zombie through the streets, you know, and he was screaming all the way from Bombay to Goa, and this was crazy because it was my first shoot and first time I have to handle a lot of people also, and there were people coming by and starting to watch and try to interfere, and then the police came and hit the people, you know, to go away and stuff. This is I think this was really tense and crazy, and we shitted our pants really, and somehow it's every time something happening that brings you on the edge, because if it's not happening, something goes wrong. You have to bring yourself that something that you go to the edge. You know, if you don't go to the edge with anything, with any point, I don't know, then something is wrong. Then you start repeating yourself, or then you start trusting yourself what you do, and you rely to it, and then you just do it because you know what to do. But if you don't bring yourself to the edge every time, then you can't get one step ahead. That's the point. And I try to do it.
I
I
have.
try to do it. Now with Richard was really, I mean, this was with Emigrate, this was really intense. I can't tell you so much, but I mean, he was underwater, you know, and couldn't breathe. I mean, we sunk the whole band into a hole filled with water, and they could die actually. You know, it was like crazy.
But they
And you
didn't.
will see it in the pictures.
Yes, I have seen that video, and all that I was thinking about while I was watching the video for the first time was how did they get the permissions of the Indian government in order for them to let them do that in their country? And like,
What?
how did you do?
Which video have you seen?
It was a video of a person that was all tied up, and somebody dragged him on the streets, and
Yes, you've seen this.
yes, of course. I have seen a lot of video footage from you, not just the videos from Rammstein and the musical videos, but I have actually seen the advertisement things that you do also.
We didn't have permission in India. That was the point. We just gave to some police guys a little money and that's it, but we didn't have permission. That was the point.
That's really crazy. If you had shoot that on Mexico, you would probably end up in jail. I don't know.
Yeah, I could be, yes. But I want to shoot in Mexico. One day I want to shoot in Mexico.
Yes, you
I
should.
really
You should
want.
do it. Bring Rammstein with you.
Yes. Or at least Richard, emigrate.
Yes, it doesn't matter. So, the next question would be: what do you hate to see in a video? Not a video that you had directed yourself, of course, but another director video. What do you hate to see on a video, personally or particularly?
What I hate to see.
Yes, what you cannot stand to see, like you're watching a video and you are like, oh my god, that director, he should have done something else, or he's not making the effort, or
If they
maybe.
are too much in love with themselves, you know. I think it's called manierism. This means if it's overstyled, if it's totally overstyled, and if you sense that they fall in love with themselves when they made it, like you know, if you let the DOP edit the video, the cameraman, he will put only his beautiful shots and take them in slow motion, and this is the something like this, you know. But I I don't like I don't like to get bored. This is what I hate. Totally. If I see the first 30 seconds and the other 3 minutes, nothing changed actually, or you know, it's like I know what's coming, then I really hate it. This is the only point. But I can't say something bad about other directors.
Yes, I know, because of the ethics. Don't worry, that is why we are not saying names. I just wanted to know. I was curious. So this is the next question. What would you do if you had the chance to direct a Beatles video? Like if they were alive, what would you do if they wanted you or they hired you to direct their video? The Beatles, one of the most important rock music band in the whole world.
You mean the Beatles like before they split up?
Yes, before they split up. Let's just say that they were the Beatles. No, maybe that they brought back the Beatles from that time on our time. If they found this time machine and they brought the Beatles into our time and they met you and they wanted to have a really good video of any of their songs. As a matter of fact, you can choose one of their songs in order to produce it. What would you do? And what would be the song?
Um, my first impulse is to think totally minimal, to give them the room. It's a little bit like the you know which is the best Inarritu movie?
Which one is? Amores Perros?
Which one?
Amores Perros? Amores
No,
Perros?
no.
No,
The
we
best Inarritu movie is the 9/11 movie. Have you seen it?
not quite sure. I might have seen it, but I do not remember. I get to see a
It's
lot
a
of movies.
short film.
Oh,
It's a short film.
then I haven't seen it.
And it's in after 9/11 they brought a movie out. I think 6 or 7 directors directing episode, 15 minutes, and Inarritu did the best film. You don't see nothing. You just hear the telephones before the people die. You know, you hear what in the audio you hear the last telephone calls of the people when they talk to the relatives, before the building collapsed, before they die. And what you see in the cinema is a black screen. And all of a sudden, you see how people jump out of the window, and you just see the fall, and then it goes away again. After 10 minutes of listening to the sayings. And this is really great because one of my first commercials was like this. I worked with a Spanish creative for Nike, and it was about the reflection of your face when the screen is off, you know. So it was a black screen, and it was only a voice asking of what do you see, what could you be, and you see all the time your reflection, and then the voice explains you that you see the reflection, and in your mind you realize that it's about you, and the pictures in your mind are the biggest, the greatest that you can create. And I think I would try to do something like this with the Beatles, to reduce myself totally to give them room, you know. And maybe it would be something like this, just a portrait, I don't know, nothing, not anything that shows me, wow, I'm super creative and can make the fucking best video of the world or something. It's, I mean, I think no. It would look maybe like the Black Album or the White Album, and the White Album, and a little bit I had that feeling, I have to say, with the piano version of Mein Herz brennt. It was like this. It was a moment like this when I realized I don't need anything. You know, the editor started to cut and stuff, and I said, no, please leave everything out, not black and white, nothing. Just let this moment be as true as possible, you know. And then you're getting close to something what is so beautiful, and you realize when you leave yourself out, sometimes the things are much more beautiful than if you force yourself trying to make it more interesting or something. This is a problem of advertising. They always try to be super interesting, you know. And well. That's a very good question. It's the best question I've had it for a long time.
You are making me blush. Okay, we're about to end with the questions, and I just want you to know that I am honored and I am all nervous about speaking with you.
You
I
don't need to. I'm quite normal, I think.
Yes, I know, but I mean your career. I have seen your videos since I have like 5 or 4 years old, and right now I am speaking to you. It is really crazy. So, well, the next question: what is the relationship that you look forward to have with the artists that you work with?
um,
Obviously, you are friends with all of the people in Rammstein because they are like part of your family now, I think. But what about that time when you worked with Tokio Hotel when they record that video when they were children? I don't remember the name. It was Scream.
Scream, yes.
Okay, which was the relationship with them, or maybe with their parents, or maybe with their managers, uh, that you wanted to have in order for the visual idea to be conceived?
I think you have to think a little bit in a communist way in this. If you, this is what I expect from the artist, because I myself donate this as well. If you reduce your personality because of the idea, just to make the thing happen, or the idea to get to follow the artistic goal, and you have to do everything that is possible to fulfill it, even to reduce your personality. And the biggest artists I worked with, and the only one who really do this, is Rammstein. They really reduce themselves to nothing just to make the idea good. They even suffer. They go to any shit, doesn't matter, but they want to have the idea really good. And if you work with hip hop guys, it's awful because for them, their personality is the most important thing. So everything that you have to work with them in an artistic way, it's like, yeah, but do I really look cool because my first verse is like this and I need to, and where's my other performance, blah, blah, blah. It's like this, you don't talk about art, you only talk about personality. And this is what I expect actually of everybody of the team, of the whole team, everybody who's working in this project. They have to reduce themselves and follow the idea. Even myself, if somebody comes up and says, you know, this is much better if you do it like this way because the idea is much clearer, I see that, say, yes, you're right, let's do it this way, no problem, you know. But many times I say no.
Do you have meetings with the artist personally before a video gets shot, before you are hired, or do you go with the merchandising people, or maybe with the label people, or with their managers, in order to know if you are going to work with them before you sign anything?
I need to work, I need to see them and to speak with them because it's not only about that maybe they like my video, maybe they don't like me, and you can't work together if you don't like each other. I mean, that level of professionality is possible, but it doesn't make sense to me. Then choose another director who you can work with. But I think it's super important to understand each other because the goal is that we all, the band and I, and the management, everybody is in the same boat, you know, that we all want the same thing. And you only can do this when you meet each other, sometimes, or when you talk to each other. And sometimes it's difficult because they are in other countries, but I try to do it. I fly everywhere just to meet the people before that they know me. So they all also can say, okay, that guy is nice, or maybe no, he's not, I don't feel comfortable. Something can happen, everything, you know, you don't know. And this personal connection is very important because you have to trust each other in this kind of project. This is very important.
One of my favorite videos that was directed by you is Rosenrot by Rammstein. And it is because it is so rich, it has a lot of sceneries, and the story makes you think that it is actually a little movie. So what can you tell me about this video? Like, how did you conceive the idea? Did you told me before that the people from Rammstein, they try not to involve their egos in the creation process of the video. So how did you know that you wanted to shoot this kind of video? Because I don't think that it has a lot of things to do with the song, which it is about a person that wants to get a rose from his lover and he fell off a cliff or something like that, and then he dies. How did you know that you wanted to conceive another kind of idea, because it was perfect?
Thank you very much. Emu hated it, the video. Really funny.
Who hated the video? Sorry?
Emu, the former manager. For me, it was only important that I tell something like a fairy tale, and I wanted, because always those girls in fairy tales, I wanted her to be the mean one, the really mean one. You know, the you look at her and she's virgin. She's innocent, and but that she is the source of all of evils. This is what I liked really much, and that's how it started. And then I wanted them to be like, of course, it has to be Till, you know, like imagine like Leon, the Leon, the professional, you know, the movie.
Which one? Which one?
Leon.
No, I do not know that movie.
I'm sure you know it. Leon, I think in English it's called the professional. Professional.
I'm gonna have to watch it because I am pretty sure that I haven't seen it.
He's a killer, you know. He's a killer, and it's with Jean Reno, and he's a killer, and but accidentally there's a little girl he has to save. She's 12 years old, and he's protecting her, and
Oh, I think that I have seen the movie, but it has another name in Spanish which I cannot remember. But it was a pretty good movie, and
yeah, Luc Besson.
yes, this girl is like connected with a killer, like in
Natalie Portman.
yes,
The
Natalie
first film.
Port. Yes, I know.
And imagine that she's the mean one. You know, this is what was interesting for me. Because with Rammstein, if you do something with Rammstein, you always have to choose the bad side. You know, there's something that is hidden. What you think, nah, you can't think of this, but then it's real. Then it's the right thing for Rammstein. If you choose something that it's almost forbidden to think of. That's why I didn't like the latest Jonas Ackerlund stuff, because it was always only funny, you know, funny, and there was not that dark side, you know, that keeps you like downward spiral. This is Rammstein, you know, like the Nine Inch Nails song. It's keeping you down and forces you to bring something new, something dark outside of your head. And this is what I wanted to do with Rosenrot, to explain a fairy tale, but in a different way. And of course, I liked to shock the people when they see that the girl is mean and how Till is dying. And they sacrifice their blood. You know, we wanted to make the whip with makeup.
Yes.
So no, let's give me this vodka. So they drink vodka, and then they start hitting themselves for real, you know, until it's bleeding. So they really whip themselves. So it's the real shit, and every time it's a real shit, then it's good.
That's so crazy, but they decided it right. Like
Yes.
you didn't tell them. Let's.
No, I can't ask.
Yes, I know the ethics. So, uh, well, as my final question, I don't want this to be the final question, but I know that you have some things to do.
No
So,
problem, but you can call anytime. We can talk. No problem if you have more questions, or if you don't understand something what I said now after you have listened to it, you can write me or call me again. It's no problem.
so thank you very much for you to be that open with me,
Yeah.
since you don't know who I am, and well, it was nice speaking with you. So the last question would be, what are those projects that you are involved with right now? I know that you are teaching in the university, but also you told me before that you were shooting something. I don't know if you were shooting a video or if you were telling me about something else, but what are you involved right now into the videos, or just being a professor on the university?
Well,
Do you
I'm
have.
involved in surviving, trying to find jobs. Yeah, I'm. It's strange now. The music video time is back somehow. People want more music videos. That's good, and I'm doing music videos. And I think next week it's coming out. I don't know when it should be. It's finished really a long time. The new Emigrate video. Strange.
What is the name of the band?
Emigrate from Richard.
Ah, okay, okay, yes.
This is finished and comes out soon. And some German stuff, and there is a band. It's interesting if you can build them up as well. You know, yeah, it's more music related things now. And I'm going to Al Jazeera maybe. I was last year and maybe this year again. Al Jazeera in Qatar, it's to teach the school over there, the Arabian people, how to make music videos and commercials.
So,
10 days.
are you going to go to Qatar in order to teach them to Arabic people
It's called Al Jazeera Training Center.
for just a couple of weeks, or are you going to spend there more than a year?
No, just a couple of weeks. If I would spend more than a year, I would return rich. I think. No, not. I think no, maybe not. It's only the Qatari can be rich. That's the point. It's just I think 8-9 days. But I try that the people do one little film in that period. But let's see. It's not super sure. But last year I was, and it was really nice. It was really fine.
Okay, haven't you decided to shoot short films or maybe a movie?
Yes, but it takes a long time until you do it. I'm in the writing process. It's a
Well,
bullshit
it is
time.
it is never too late to start, right?
Excuse me? Yeah, it's never too late. I saw what did I see? Yeah, one of my heroes, Yuzo Itami. Maybe you have to find his. Can I type you?
Of
Can I
course,
type you a message here?
of course, you can do it. So I can look forward for it on the internet.
Oh yeah, it's here. This director.
Yuzo Itami. Is he from Japan?
And the film you have to look for is this.
Tampopo.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna look for it. Is this from Japan, right?
Yeah. Do you like ramen noodles? Ramen soup?
Yes, of course. I actually used to work on. It was like a coffee shop in which we used to do this on festivals of anime
So
and
this is your duty to
Chinese.
see this movie. It's from the 80s. And he was killed. This director, he did his first film when he was 50, right? Same like I think Sergio Leone as well. So this guy was killed by the Yakuza, by the Japanese mafia, because he was making fun of them in almost every movie. But this movie, Tampopo, it's for me like the holy grail of movie making. It's incredible. It has everything that you need to have in a movie. It's the seven samurai of ramen cooking. It's incredible. One of my absolute favorite films. If I would make a tattoo, I would tattoo this movie. It's the thing. And well, he started also late, so I'm confident. I have time.
Oh, okay. Do you read comic books? I just wanted to ask you that question. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
do. Which kind of comics?
Look, there's one. You have to wait a second. I'm trying to find the book. Just a second. I think my kids took it away. Okay, like here is one. The Möbius Silver Surfer.
Wow, you like Silver Surfer? That's pretty cool.
And,
I'm a comic book geek myself. I really love Marvel and DC stuff.
well, you know what? Have you seen my The Genesis project?
My what? No,
You know this?
I haven't read that.
You can try to Google him. Marko Đurđević did a lot of covers for Marvel, and now this is a relaunch of a game that he has made, and I made a trailer for his game. It's on my website. It's here. And what else? What else I have here as a comic? Ah, this is a very nice. Jodorowsky. I like it because it's a special edition. It's so big.
Jodorowsky.
It's it's like a movie scene, you know.
Oh, I love those kinds of comic books. They are
Yeah.
really artistic.
Absolutely. And I was looking for because I bought it yesterday, and I don't know where it is. I think my kids took it because I'm Serbian, you know, and there is one Serbian girl from Canada who did a big comic book about her family life and everything, and there is the conflict of the war. It's where it started before the Second World War. She explains the history, and it's drawn so nicely, incredible. And I'm a big fan of Charles Burns, and let's see from the comics. What else? Wait a second. Well, you know Tardi? Tardi? French guys. I like the French people, the French comic guys.
Tardi Machet.
Yeah. And I have something really rare. Ah, yeah, look.
Action Comics #1.
Which one?
Action Comics #1.
No. But I like. Well. Oh, I have something really rare, super rare.
You have a lot of literature there, don't you?
You know this?
Wicked Wanda? No, of course that I do not know that.
This is Penthouse, right? The girls magazine. And in the 70s, there was a comic always inside. And super sexy drawings, let me see. And really crazy stuff.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I like comics.
Okay, so
Of course, the biggest, I mean, the hero for me is this guy, you know? Tintin,
a rocket. Tintin. Oh, okay.
Hergé. I like Lynn Claire, all those things, yeah.
There was this really strange comic book from the creator of Tintin, and they had it in the waiting room from I guess an X-ray. What's the name of the X-ray hospitals? The place where you get the X-ray. There was a time when I thought that I had broke a bone, and I had to wait. And suddenly I found this rare comic book that was really, really valuable in eBay, and they just had it there. And it didn't have all of the things that they put nowadays, like they forbid a lot of things that were from that time. They edit I don't know, like the black people that were drowned at that time was pretty different from the black people that they drown nowadays. So that's how I could know, and I watched the date, and it was like from 1945 or something like that. Pretty old.
Timid Congo, I think. It was the first one.
Yeah,
Really rare.
and they have it there. Of course, I didn't steal it or anything. I just talked to myself. They didn't know what that comic book is worth, and the people are playing with it and read it. Okay, so that was everything. Thank you so very very much. That interview was just amazing,
Okay,
and I
and
know
here,
that.
check this.
Okay,
The Genesis come. This is the guy with his drawings. It's really
okay. So, is there anything that you want to say in order to say goodbye in Spanish? Because I'm going to edit a little bit of the interview, not all of it, but just some few parts in order to put in a video for my personal blog. It is not that well known, just like 20 or 25 people watch it, but the experience was really incredible for me.
well, está un placer para mí.